Hey everyone, it's Jason here with a new update for FireJumpers Inferno, and I'm really excited because after 3 years of development, this indie game is nearly ready for launch on Steam. I'm just doing a few extra cleanups and a little bit of marketing, but it's ready. So let's kind of jump in. Now, this is a kind of an overview for new players. So FireJumpers Inferno is a cooperative multiplayer wildland firefighting simulator where I've blended in real fire science data, GIS data, fire spread models, water suppression models, and put it all together into this kind of game format. So let's take a look. This is the continental United States, and this is the loading area. This is where you get to create your own scenarios as well as join other player scenarios. So let me just kind of zoom down here and take a look. I'm going to also increase the game time by 1 hour. So the sun is a little bit higher up in the sky and I can see a little bit better. All right, now every pixel that you see here is a downloadable content. And every pixel contains 15,000 pixels, which is a more high resolution image than what you're seeing here. This is just to display the entire US. But I mean, we get to see everything. This is the Grand Canyon right here, and we've got, Yellowstone over here. And the idea is that you kind of select an area that you want to, download onto your computer, and you can change the size. And once you do this, you click create, and it's going to create this map. So it's going to download all of those files and kind of stitch them together to create a larger, more detailed map of that area. So here we go. So everything's starting up. Time is, kind of sped up to about 6 o'clock. And here we go. This is it. Now, if I take this, let me also increase it by 1 hour just so I can see the pixels a little bit better. All right, here we go. So this is the area, and now the pixels that you see here are the scale is 30 meters by 30 meters, or about 100 feet by 100 feet. That's the size of every pixel. So the scale is a 1 to 30 ratio. This is how I'm able to load very large areas. And this is all accurate GIS data. So if you live in the United States, you will be able to find and download your area and catch it on fire, in a very safe way. So now these are streets, and the purple are urban areas, and we have different um, types of urban area. We've got low density, medium density, and high density areas. High density is over here. Yeah. So these. So the idea here is that you create your own scenario. You start your own fire. So let's start here. Let's grab right here, and this kind of simulates a lightning strike plus 1 hour of time that goes by. So when I click on this, it creates a fire, and every time I do it, it's going to increase in size like this, right? Um, and it also increases. So now it's about 11 o'clock, uh, in the morning, and then you just want to start fighting. So the fire is described here. This red line is the objective of the simulator. You want to try to contain that to be these white lines. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to take, now this road is going to be a natural barrier already, but we're going to just try to contain the back end here. So I'm going to come here to my roster, and I'm going to choose an engine. And each one of those units is unique. So they each have their own experience that they earn, through while working through the fire. And to move them is you kind of click and you draw a line like this, and they start moving in the, along that line. So we can just bring them closer to the fire, and this blue circle shows the range in which this fire truck can um, is kind of covering this whole area, but only 1 pixel at a time. As I look at here, I can see, oh, he just earned some coins. Um, all right, so this guy's got you can see that it's slowly going down, 2.71 feet, right? So if I hover over it, it says if he keeps working on it, it'll take 14 minutes to extinguish that pixel, but it'll spread in 42 minutes. So that should be plenty of time for this engine to, extinguish that. We can increase the game speed, so that things are a little bit faster, and everything's just calculating faster. Let me just bring it down. And so we also have this kind of thing where the engines will connect to urban areas to get their water. So I can create another engine here, and he'll connect to this one. And you can see right here that he's slowly filling with water while fighting. Now these guys are both fighting on the same pixel, so it should go even faster. Yeah, so instead of, yeah, instead of 8-9 minutes, it's going to be 4 minutes. So that's great. All right, so now there are other units. Let's say we grab the bulldozer. All right, now bulldozers, they can move or they can just cut. So we're going to get them into cutting. But when we change it, you can see the speed goes from 9 miles per hour to 4.9 miles per hour. And when I click on this guy to create the line, you'll notice that the terrain changes from this green color to just a gradient gray with some red. What that means is that the lighter the color, the easier it is for the dozer to cut through that vegetation. The darker, when it gets up to black, that means that it's very difficult, right? So these trees, you're trying to avoid cutting these because it's going to take a very long time. You can see when I start drawing those pixels. So I'm going to try to get around here and find the right area. Now the red pixels mean that the slope is too steep, right? This area you can see that was a little bit red, was too steep. So you have to find the right, area for this guy. Now as he's cutting, depending on the vegetation, now we're going to increase the game speed here again. You're going to see he's at 2.1 miles per hour. Now he's cutting through grass. He's at 3.4. Now back down to 2.1. And just depending on that, terrain, will change and determine how fast that dozer is moving through that and cutting through that terrain. All right, so we got this, and we've got now, let's go to aircraft. Let's grab the sky crane. All right, so sky crane holds a lot of water, and they can fill up from water pixels, these little blue pixels. So all you have to do is get really close, slow down, get down, and there we go. Now we're starting to fill up with some water. Now the sky crane holds a lot of water, 10,000 liters, which is just enormous for a helicopter. It's more than some planes sometimes. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. And right now I've got it set to a 1 second drop. This is kind of the most powerful, where it drops all the water in 1 second. I can change that all the way up to 10 seconds, but I'm gonna go with a 1 second drop here. So using the camera, I'm gonna find just the right pixel and drop it here. All right. In this case, everything landed on 1 pixel. That was good enough just to contain that 1 pixel here. Now this is also, again, 30 meters, so this is still a lot, 100 feet of containment that this aircraft just did. So we got that, but you know what? Maybe you need something where you need some aircraft. So I'm going to grab the Canadair. So this guy, he's a unit that can actually pick up water again from these water source, these water pixels. So we're going to increase the speed of the unit. Now we're going to slow him down. So he has to get to kind of cruising speed for him to actually register to pick up the water. Perfect. And we are good. All right. Take a look. All right. Now I'm going to do past 1 second drop. I'm going to go, let's say, a 4 second drop. All right. So let's see what happens here. Hopefully I can hit this fire just right. Slow down and all right, let's see what I did here. All right, so this one got extinguished. Now the water did land on this and it did reduce the fire, but it wasn't enough water concentrated in one area. If you think about this, this is like 500 feet of water that it tried to spread. Maybe it needed to spread over, a shorter area. So, we can always change what this kind of there. Let's bring it down to 2-second drop. All right, now let's say we have a whole bunch of aircraft, and you can't fly every one, right, and still try to manage everything. So you can actually set up what are called circuits. And you can create a circuit by adding waypoints. And these waypoints are just kind of a post that you can place, and you can change the speed and altitude of what that unit, what that aircraft is going to go to. So I can click and go up and down to change its altitude, and left to right to change its speed. So I'm going to go a little bit lower and some speed, and we're going to get some water right here. So we're going to get here and there, and then let's say we're going to fly around here and then come over here. And then let's see. Yeah, I think we could probably get here and there. So these red ones means that when the aircraft comes, it'll automatically trigger the water drop, and it should just drop it in that area. All right, so now let's create one more. Let's say right here. Okay, bring that guy down. All right, that should be good. So let's grab the Canadair, and we're going to link them up by setting up the autopilot. Point, press the letter V, now he's in autopilot. So now I don't have to do anything. This guy's going to follow based on the speed and the altitude. This guy's going to always get to this point here. Well, it'll try. If these posts are too close and he had to rotate too fast, it may go into an infinite loop. So you do have to be careful because these units can only turn so fast. All right, so this guy's going to come here, and he will automatically get some water. So let's take a look here. There we go. And so now, if you have multiple units, right? Let's grab the other Canadair here. And here we go. So this guy, he's going to go around and around. And all I have to do is line up these two. So I try to just focus on the best angle. That should be good. All right, so I'm going to increase the game speed again. So I can see this unit. Here he comes. All right, now I'm going to reduce the game speed just in time. All right, now hopefully. There we go. Well, boom. All right. Oh, yeah, that was a great one right there. So now he's just going to go around. Still one right here, but that's okay. And now the other aircraft is already coming, and that's pretty great. Yeah, and so this is how waypoints work. Now you can create a little bit more complexity because maybe you have so many aircraft and you don't want them to just come because you're not quite ready. You need to set these guys up a little bit, right? So what you can do is you can create and click on this guy right here where it says normal, and it goes to a waypoint. You can go between different types. Waypoint, this is kind of a waiting zone. You have a trigger, an airport, and then kind of a normal. And the water ones kind of happen automatically. So the wait zone here says, okay, well, this aircraft here, and then we're going to increase the game speed again. So he's going to connect, and now he's going to start following this little sphere right here. And now he's stuck in kind of a circle. And he's just going to keep going into a circle until he's triggered to leave that area. And to do that, let me just change the game speed again, is using a trigger. So now that he's over here, whenever I'm ready, I can click this go button, and now that unit is now coming, is triggered, and it gets released from the waiting zone. This unit now just arrived, now he's waiting. So I don't have to worry about him, getting in the way of, each unit here. And now I can just get this guy. Now if I was set up properly, I would try to do this proper. Should be okay. Yeah, I could probably get the next guy to start coming. Well, maybe not yet, but we'll see. Oh yeah, nice one. Okay, oh, this one got reduced a little bit, but not enough. All right. All right, so this is how waypoints work. Yeah, that's that. We also have, I think we've described the pixels. Yeah, I don't think we did this yet. Yeah, so here, this is changing the texture from these pixels here to a rate of spread, and it shows kind of a danger zone from black, which is very low, to yellow, which is kind of low threat, to medium, to high, and then very high, ultra high. So, and then depending on the flame length. So really quickly though, yellow is usually, good for ground crews. Up to orange is good for, water suppression units like engines and brush trucks. And then aircraft are up to about 16 feet. Even that is a little bit high. And anything over that, really, there's no point in actually trying to extinguish it. There's not enough water to really extinguish those extremely large fires. Um, and those are all adjustable. So if I change the wind speed, you can see that the terrain changes in color like that, as well as the moisture level. So, maybe in the dry summer, right, it's very, very dry versus, maybe, in the spring where it's got more moisture. So you can see, all of that kind of change automatically and dynamically. So, yeah. Yeah, so this is how the game is done, and it's really great with multiplayer. So I've added some multiplayer options here. So one of the things, if there was more than one person, you can actually talk in a voice channel. So you can click on the voice channel that you want to join, maybe Team One, and anybody who's in Team One, they can talk just like this in the game. So it's great for teamwork. You can also leave a message. This one's a little bit harder to visualize without a multiplayer in the game with me. But multiplayers, the player is actually represented as a pair of sunglasses, right where I would be here. Um, so if I'm moving around, somebody else looking at me here would see a pair of sunglasses with my name, and then whatever speech bubble that is just above my head, I could say hey, and then people could see that I'm saying hey. But again, hard to visualize without another person here. But yeah, this is overall, the gameplay here. And yeah, it is as scientific as I can make it with all the fire science. So, sometimes you're going to find it very difficult to fight these fires, and you're going to be like, how do people manage? Well, that's where everything gets really, important to understand what real wildland firefighters have to face. So, yeah. So, anyways, everybody, take a look. This is a beta version, so take a look in the description. I'll have a link for you to download, and soon it will be on Steam. I've just got to fix up a few extra things. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Cheers.